Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. My name is Dr. Muhammad Syafiq Ibrahim. I'm from Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. So today we are going to talk about metal forming. So at the end of these subjects, you will be able to state the meaning of the metal forming process. You will be able to differentiate between hot forming and cold forming processes, and also you will be able to identify at least two main types of metal forming process. So metal forming, but before that, what is metal? So basically metal is a solid material which is typically hard, shiny, fusible and ductile with good electrical and thermal conductivity. So for example, iron, gold, silver. So do you think that metal is important in our life? Yeah, there is no doubt that metal is important in our life. Why? Because everything around us are made from metal. So for example, the car, the bus that we use to get to workplace, to go to the school, are made from metal. The hood, the trunk, the whole body of the car are made from metal. Even the satellite that we use for the communications also are made from metal. So there is no doubt that metal is important in our life. So metal deformations. What is actually metal deformation? So basically metal deformation is a main process that reshapes solid metals using mechanical force to permanently change its shape without adding or removing material. So there are three types of stresses involved in metal forming. First is compression, tensile and shear force. So what are the types of metal forming process? So the types of metal forming process can be grouped into two groups. First is hot working process and second is cold working process. So from its name we know the difference. For the hot working process, the whole process will be conducted above 60% of metal's melting point, range from 900 degree to 1250 degree. And for the cold working process, the process will be conducted at or slightly above room temperature. So what is the examples of hot working process? So the first is forging, hot rolling and extrusion. So for the forging, so what is forging? So basically forging is the manufacturing process of hammering, pressing or rolling metal into shape. This is either delivered from a hammer, press or die. So as you can see here, these are the example of the product that manufactured by forging, like crankshaft and connecting rods. So let's see the video of how the forging process works. So next is hot rolling. So hot rolling is a type of hot working process. So hot rolling is a process where a metal is heated above its recrystallization temperature and passed through rollers to reduce its thickness and shape it. So as you can see here, coils, rod bars are the example of the products that manufacture through hot rolling process. So let's see the video of how hot rolling works. So next is extrusion. So extrusion is a type of metal forming process and the hot working process. So extrusion is a manufacturing process of forcing material through a shape opening to create a continuous long product with a fixed cross-sectional profile such as pipes or rods. So as you can see here, these are the example of the product that made from extrusion process, like plastic extrusions and aluminium extrusions. So next we go to cold working process. So just like I said just now, for the cold working process, the whole process will be conducted at or slightly above room temperature. So the example of cold working process like deep drawing, cold rolling and bending. So first we go to the deep drawing process first. So deep drawing, what is deep drawing? So deep drawing is a metal forming process where a flat sheet is formed into a hollow shape using a punch and die. So as you can see here, these are the example of product that made from deep drawing. For example, sink in our kitchens and cooking pots that we use to cook curry, all of them are made from deep drawing. So let's see how the deep drawing process works. So next is cold rolling. So cold rolling is a type of cold working process. So the difference between cold rolling and hot rolling, for the cold rolling, the process done at room temperature. But for the hot rolling, the whole process will be conducted at a very high temperature. So cold rolling is a metal forming process done at room temperature, often on pre-hot rolled steel, to reduce thickness, improve surface finish, and increase strength, hardness, and precision by applying high compressive forces between rollers. So coil is a type of product that made from cold rolling. And the next example of cold working process is bending. So bending is a process that change a material shape by applying force to cause plastic deformation beyond its yield strength without breaking it. So these are the example of the product that manufacture using bending methods. So let's see how the bending operations work. So for conclusions, metal is very important in our lives. There is no doubt about that. Just like I said just now, everything around us made from metal. In transportation sector, we use metal elements to manufacture the car, the vehicles, the motorcycle, the bicycle. All of them are made from metal. And in communications also, it's very important. Metal is very important. It plays a big role because the satellite that we use to communicate also are made from metal. So there is no doubt about the importance of metal in our lives. Thank you.